Hey guys, I finally get to do a video for you for the relaunch of this most awesome fragrance that launched in 22. It's called Ingredients 07 2012. So Ingredients 07 2012 is a Maison Crivelli exclusive fragrance for a boutique in Prague in the Czech Republic. And I believe it was an anniversary fragrance for them celebrating 10 years. So I got my nose on it, instantly loved it. It's one of the best creations from the house of Maison Crivelli. But it was so difficult to get. A lot of you were asking me where you can find a bottle of this. It was just not available. I believe you could have ordered it directly from the Maison Crivelli online store from France, but it was difficult to get. I think some people were complaining about that. But fast forward to a couple months ago, this fragrance relaunched as Safran Secret. Have you guys gotten your nose on this? Because if you've been watching my channel, I've hyped this one so much. It's definitely one of my all-time favorites from this house. In fact, in this video, I'm going to do a top 5 of the Maison Crivelli Extraits Parfum fragrances, and you'll find out where Safran Secret ends up, which this is the bottle right now. It's no longer Ingredients 07 2012. It is relaunched as Safran Secret, and it is selling in the States. If you've been waiting for a bottle of that to get a bottle, I highly recommend it as one of the best. So let me tell you a little details on this. Originally, as I said, it launched as Ingredients 07/2012. It's a perfume created by Givaudan perfumer. I guess he's a young perfumer, Gael Montero. This is quite pricey though, just giving you a heads up. Very expensive fragrance, 50 ml for $340. It is Extrait Parfum. It is also very long lasting. I do want to say it's not as long lasting as Patchouli Magnetic. Patchouli Magnetic is the most potent in the bunch I'm going to talk to you about today, but that's not to say Safran Secret is a wimp. It's got really great longevity, and it's also pretty potent with the projection and sillage and things like that. And so I think you will not be disappointed with this fragrance, especially if you like the idea of saffron in fragrances. This fragrance should totally satisfy. It's a really awesome smelling fragrance. You're going to smell great. This fragrance is going to project off of you. It's super, super sexy. And I love the way it smells. It's fantastic. And I've never loved a saffron fragrance as much as I love this saffron fragrance. When Ingredients 07 2012 was published, it was published, or not published, launched, I should say. They didn't publish the notes, is what I'm trying to say. So you had to kind of figure what the notes were. So I have a video on the channel of Ingredients. You can go find it. In that video, I have the notes down here. I mentioned that it smells woody, it smells leathery, it has some fruitiness there, it has some dry effects, and there's a lot of amber and a lot of leather. So this is what I said. So when I wear this one, I feel like when it gets ambery, it becomes slightly fruity. I believe we're getting that from the saffron. The only thing that I don't get from this, which some of the databases do say, and saffron typically goes metallic. I'm not getting a very metallic effect myself, but I think I'm just not seeing as the experience as being metallic. But there's fragrances that I know come off very metallic and sharp to my nose. This one is a bit powdery in comparison to how saffron can be metallic, because saffron is usually categorized as spicy and leathery and also metallic, which is stuff that you would get from it. But for me, it doesn't get screechy like some other metallic fragrances can get. But here, I feel like the metallic effect that we're getting is like a steel wool pad. So it's not sharp like a really hard metallic, kind of dusty and powdery in a metallic form like that. I'm trying to explain to you what I get with this one. So this is what I had mentioned in my review for the Ingredients fragrance. So I kind of was right. So the notes breakdown for this is saffron, woody notes, and amber. Now, there was some times I thought that it was acting a bit like vetiver as well. And here's going back to that steel wool pad again, giving me a slight bit of grassy effect because it's all kind of broken down into little pieces or hairs or something. So that's the kind of texture I get with this. And again, if you love saffron in fragrances and the way it acts, this is definitely one of the best saffron fragrances that have ever been created. It's awesome. Now, with my wearing experience of Ingredients, look how much I've worn It's an awesome scent. I love it. I was traveling with this one for a while. In fact, as of the airing of this video, I have this bottle of Safran Secret with me in Europe, so I'm going to be putting it to use. And I feel like there's heat waves there, so it is an extrait de parfum, but a little goes a long way with these fragrances. One other thing I get with this fragrance, I did mention the fruitiness, right? And going back to the fruitiness, when I was in Dubai, I keep mentioning I've gone to a couple of different saffron boutiques or stores in the, I guess, in the souk area of Dubai. And I bought a bunch of saffron and brought back with me. When you enter that kind of a store where everything is saffron all around the space, and you can smell almost like how this fragrance smells. It's interesting. It smells a bit fabricy, but in a leather kind of a way. But also drinking saffron tea, which is basically just made from saffron most of the time, I believe. It doesn't have any black tea in it. I think it's not a caffeinated tea, so it's just the actual flower pistils, I believe. So when you're drinking that, there is a light fruitiness there. And I feel like I mentioned that I get fruitiness with the ingredients in Safran Secret. And I feel like we're getting it from the actual saffron itself and the way it's blended. But one other thing before I forget, it does act a little bit molecular. And I feel like when they were not mentioning what the notes breakdown was with ingredients, I felt like it was a combination of molecular notes, you know, like ambroxan or something like that. This doesn't smell like ambroxan to me, but I feel like there's some kind of molecular notes that are similar to ambroxan, or maybe something a little different. It is a Givaudan perfumer, so maybe there's a little bit of Akigalawood in there, but it's more amber woody rather than Akigalawood, which is based off of Patchouli. So it acts a little bit like that, and I think because of this, it also has a lot of strength. It's a very powerful fragrance. Again, Patchouli Magnetic is the most powerful in the 5 I'm going to talk to you about today. But for me, Safran Secret is one of the best creations from this house. And there's a few that I really enjoy from this house. The Patchouli Magnetic has been a big favorite of mine. The TUBEREUSE ASTRALE has been a big favorite of mine. The Iris Malikan has been a big favorite of mine. But this one's turning out to be one of the all-time greatest from this house, and it is a fantastic offering. So let me know if you've sampled the OG ingredients 072012. Let me know if you've sampled Safran Secret. Do they smell different? Absolutely not. It's exactly the same fragrance. In fact, Ingredients was launched 3 years ago, and 3 years after Safran Secret was launched. So basically, all they did was change the bottle labels and remove the ingredients. There we go. Remove the ingredients label and replace it with the Safran Secret label. But again, it's an awesome scent, you guys. Really wonderful offering. It's a saffron lover's dream come true. To me, it's like a fabric / leather. It's a bit grassy, and that steel wool pad kind of idea comes to mind, giving me a bit of a vetiver effect. Slight fruitiness in there mixed in with the saffron and the amber. And for sure, it's really a woody experience. I guess some earthy elements are in there as well, but that's pretty much all I have to say about Safran Secret. Definitely one of my all-time favorites from this house, and actually from the last 5 years. Really awesome offering with this one, and I hope you guys get your nose on it and check it out yourself. Now, you might not react the same way. I haven't reacted as positively to one of the all-time loves of this house, Hibiscus Mahajad. I don't get that fragrance, but I think this one's definitely super solid and an awesome experience when I'm wearing it. So do let me know your thoughts on Safran Secret. Add a comment below. All right, guys, we're going to rank 5 Maison Crivelli Extrait de Parfum fragrances in this video. And we're going to start off at number 5 with Oud Stallion. So Oud Stallion is a Jordi Fernandez creation. It's an oud focused fragrance featuring leather, oud, tonka, nutmeg, cardamom, patchouli, saffron, Turkish rose, osmanthus, jasmine, and cedar. So to me, it's quite Middle Eastern style, very Middle Eastern style. In fact, lots of oud, lots of leather here. I feel like it's an appropriate name. Stallion referring to horses. kind of a leather, all that kind of stuff mixed together. But this is super, super spicy and earthy with light touches of flowers or floral notes like the rose and the jasmine that are in here, and a slight fruity edge. Very, very slight with that osmanthus note that's in here. But uber spicy. I feel like what's really dominating here are the spices with the leather and the oud. This is what's running the show. Of course, you've got the saffron in here as well, and most likely it's the same saffron that they're using in Safran Secret, because Jordi Fernandez and Gael Montero are both at Givaudan, so it's a Givaudan perfumer, both of them are. But it's not about the saffron. The saffron just accentuates the leathery experience in Oud Stallion. Honestly, it's ranked at number 5. I find it to be a fragrance that I've experienced a lot before, so I'm putting it here at number 5 because it's not as exciting as some of the other fragrances. So that's Oud Stallion. Let me know your thoughts on Oud Stallion. Add a comment below. So at number 4, we have Oud Maracuja. So Oud Maracuja is also a Jordi Fernandez fragrance, and it's a fruity, tropical, juicy oud experience, and it's very bright and uplifting and happy. And I feel like the oud in this is not like the oud in Oud Stallion, but you might be able to layer them actually to have a very explosive experience. But it's a really fun fragrance utilizing passion fruit, saffron, Turkish rose, Indonesian patchouli, benzoin, leather, amber, vanilla, labdanum, Akigalawood. There's that Akigalawood. It's a proprietary ingredient that is used over at Givaudan, and it seems to appear a lot in Givaudan creations, especially with Canton Biche. It wasn't mentioned in Safran Secret, but maybe it's in there as well, who knows. But a fun fragrance, very juicy and a very thick experience. The fruitiness is like, it's a sweet fruity, but it's a sweet that's sweetened from fruits, not candy sweet, if that makes sense. So you've got a bit of a tropical edge with it. It's almost like a fruit juice, maybe a fruit smoothie, because the smell, the texture of this is quite thick. And once again, you've got leather, oud, and all these things coming in here. Not about those are just accentuating the smell. This is pretty much about the fruits, at least to me. So that is Oud Maracuja. Let me know if you're familiar with it. Once again, it's pretty potent. I mean, these fragrances in the Extrait de Parfum concentration releases from Maison Crivelli, they are pretty potent fragrances. But I think this next one is the most potent, as I was saying. This is Patchouli MAGNETIK. It's at number 3. This is a Canton Biche creation, and this is also another one that I've used quite a bit of, as you can see. But as I was saying, this one is so super potent. 2 sprays and you're done for the whole day. It is so nuclear. It's intense. And to me, it's the most potent of all of the extracts from Maison Crivelli. And I do also have Queer Infra Rouge right here, but I don't think that one's launched in the States yet. I think it's an exclusive to Selfridges, I believe. And I'm not going to rank it here, but I don't think that's as nuclear as Patchouli MAGNETIK, because I'm smelling Patchouli MAGNETIK now. It is so overwhelming. And I think patchouli in general is a pretty polarizing note to begin with. And I feel like because it's polarizing note, I love this stuff, by the way. If you don't know that about me, this is the first time you're hearing me talk about it. Patchouli is one of my favorite notes. Here, it's so intense and so milky lactonic and also fruity. It just, I think, turns people off. And that's why I feel like Patchouli MAGNETIK is a very, very polarizing fragrance. I feel like I haven't heard of anybody else hyping it as much as I have. I personally hate Hibiscus Mahajad, but I love Patchouli MAGNETIK. It garners me compliments too. I haven't worn it for a while. On one day, I got 2 compliments and 2 different people. It's just amazing because it's so strong. It projects so much. But it is gardenia, it is patchouli, sandalwood, benzoin, white peaches, vanilla, leather. So super potent. It's very, very lactonic and creamy, and it smooths out the patchouli's rough edges. But I feel like it creates this very overwhelming experience with a milky lactonic quality, the white flowers, and then the earthiness of the patchouli. There's certainly a chocolatey thing happening in here as well. But yeah, that's Patchouli MAGNETIK. Let me know if you're familiar with that one. It is number 3. And at number 2, we have TUBEREUSE ASTRALE. So does that tell you or give you any clues where Safran Secret is? Let's talk about Tubereuse Astrale. So Tubereuse Astrale is a fragrance that garners me compliments. Tubereuse Astrale is cinnamon bark, tuberose, osmanthus, carrot seeds, cistus absolute, musks, and vanilla. And to me, it's got Cointreau signature all over it. It's super sexy. It also has that cumin vibe when you wear it. There's certainly a bubblegumminess happening here, for sure. And it's very creamy. It's got a bit of a lactonic quality. And once again, the Patchouli Magnetic had the Gardenia. This is tuberose. Both of these white flowers I consider to have a kind of a creamy effect in fragrances. And you have it here, but it's nicely done the way Cointreau does. For me, it's super bubblegummy, which is kind of fun and playful. But when you're wearing it, there's a mature side about it. That cumin really shines and pops through. And it's almost like electrifying. But super awesome fragrance. I love Tubereuse Astrale, but that was my number one up until Safran Secret launched everywhere, replacing Ingredients 07-2012. Yeah, and I've already told you all about Safran Secret. It's super awesome. I wouldn't call it as potent as Patchouli Magnetic or Tubereuse Astrale, but it's potent enough. It wears a bit not as complex as the other fragrances, but I love its simplicity. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying this, it's much simpler than the other two, but for me, it's intense, it's potent, and you go through all these motions and experiences. Remember, I mentioned it's a bit fruity, it's sharp and, well, it's metallic, not necessarily uber sharp and cold, but like the steel wool pad I was telling you about, kind of like that, which gives me a bit of an idea of a grassy vetiver as well. But it's a lot of saffron, which is leathery, and then of course lots of woods and something molecular going on in there as well, like something like synthetic molecules or synthetic ingredients that kind of intensifies the fragrance as well. But I absolutely love it. And again, it's definitely my favorite saffron fragrance and totally deserves the number one spot here. So I'm very, very happy this is launched as a global fragrance now. It's not a, exclusive fragrance for a retailer. I mean, I kind of like it when brands do that, but I kind of don't like it when brands do that because it feels like I don't know. I don't want to get into this idea because they do it quite often. Harrods does it all the time. They have all the brands make exclusives for them. And, Selfridges, of course, as I said, with Queer Infra Rouge. It's a bit complicated for us to appreciate. And even though Selfridges and Harrods is easier to buy from, it was definitely not easy to buy from Ingredients. That's why a lot of you guys were complaining, wanting to check it out, but just couldn't do it. Well, finally, 3 years after, you can try Safran Secret. And please do try it and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you had these 5 fragrances, how would you rank them? Please add a comment below. But thanks so much for watching today's video, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. And please give a thumbs up for this video for the help with the algorithm. Anyway, see you guys later. Bye-bye.